Welcome to our show, Your Miracle Resource. I'm so excited to introduce you to my friend Michael. This show has always been for all of you a way to share resources, inspire you, but today is about taking your pain and making it into a campaign. My friend Michael was married to my friend Laura, and when we lost our friend Laura, I really got to see Michael in action with pain to campaign. He has created the L4 Foundation, and I've invited him to talk with you about it, to share the journey, to share details of what it is, how it's helping charities, and truly to be inspired. So whether you're listening via podcast or you're watching us, please know today is taking pain and making a campaign to help others. Michael, tell us about this journey and this amazing foundation in honor of Laura.
Sure, and thanks for having me today. It's good to see you, like always. So Laura and I were together for 16 years. And about 3 years ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And anybody who's ever gone through breast cancer or a cancer diagnosis or any sort of medical complication knows that once you receive that call, your life gets flipped upside down. Laura was an extremely powerful, confident, funny, charismatic person that was very engaged in the community, great mother, great friend. And when she got a diagnosis, she went on Facebook Live later that night and brought everybody into our world so that we could discuss some of the crazy complications and life-altering things that occur during a breast cancer diagnosis. When you're a relatively newly married couple, we had a 6-month-old son at that time, and so life really was flipped upside down and it was unrecognizable. So over the span of 2.5 years, Laura and I battled breast cancer together. We had tons of support, and we tried to find a way of turning tragedy into triumph. Sometimes you can't control what occurs in your life, but we can control how we respond to it. And if anybody has had anything significant and something devastating that has occurred in their life, this is kind of our message of empowerment, that you can't control the things that occur, but you can control how you react to it. And unfortunately, we lost Laura January 23rd, 2019. And there were a lot of people, a lot of charities that she supported, a lot of family members, everybody that felt that void. And so a month after Laura passed, I created the L4 Project, which L4 stands for Live Life Like Laura. And the L4 Project, its mission is to act as a platform for other charities to be able to fundraise, raise awareness for their cause through the sale of online merchandise.
And we just saw the bracelet and the shirt. Everything is gorgeous.
Thank you.
I mean, it's amazing. And I have the tumbler that says Live Life Like Laura.
Yeah.
And that inspires each of us every day, because she was that warrior and she inspired and she never gave up. And if we all lived our life like Laura, and that's why thank you for creating the tumbler, because I carry it with me,
Yeah.
and people will ask me, oh, who's Laura? And I get to share the story of my friend.
Yeah, thank you for buying it.
Oh, I love it. So tell us about the charities and what's
Sure.
next with the foundation.
Sure, so the L4 Project is run by Akron Community Foundation, but the online site is run by me personally. Mm-hmm. So anything that's purchased online, if there's an L4 collection, those proceeds will go to the L4 fund that's managed at ACF. Mm-hmm. But what we're starting to do, and what I'm really excited about, is we are partnering with select charities throughout the year to create a sustainable revenue source for them, to tell their message, to bring people in, to give people an opportunity to get involved in their community, kind of be an agent of change that they want to see in the world. And there's nothing too little or too small. If you don't have time, you can buy a shirt to support it. You can show people that it's something you care. Things like this, they gain traction, because I think for the most part, everybody comes from a good place. Sometimes they just need to know how to start and where to go.
So when they're in the middle of the storm and they don't know what to do with all these emotions, I mean, I've always said, my friend Laura, your wife, was my warrior, my
Yeah.
favorite warrior.
Yeah.
She's just incredible. She was so strong. And every month you send those updates that remind us,
Yeah.
you know, self-examination for breast cancer and just to live life like Laura. And now I look at you and you've become this warrior. You're now helping other charities. So charities can contact you
Absolutely.
and you can help them. So we're taking this pain and making a campaign for good.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you. And this whole entire project really just came out of a knee-jerk reaction from me to do something.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of, during the grieving process, your mind is all over the place and you're trying to hold on. I was trying to hold on and still am trying to hold on. And I think the L4 project does a good job of telling Laura's story, creating a legacy for her that I think she would have been proud of, because we never even discussed this. This just occurred really quickly. And what we're excited about is the ability to spread good, create awareness, not just about cancer, breast cancer, that's super important, but about all of these other charities that we're working with. When I created L4, one thing that people wanted to know is, what charity do you support? And naturally, because Laura was a breast cancer patient, people thought it was breast cancer, but Laura wasn't a breast cancer patient. She was so much more than that.
Oh, she was involved in so many things.
Yes, and so how can I create a project that does her honor, that doesn't put her in a box? Right. And so we were excited to actually be launching this weekend the Boys and Girls Club collection on the L4 project.
Good.
Yeah, and there's some designs that are online, and every piece that's sold from the Boys and Girls Club collection will go directly to the Boys and Girls Club of Western Reserve.
Excellent. Oh, that is wonderful. Do you want to show us some other items that we have online that we can take a look at?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, talk about this.
Sure. So our goal is to really tell the story of what these particular charities do. And so with the Boys and Girls Club, each process is a little bit different. We had the art students at Boys and Girls Club create 8 different pictures on what Boys and Girls Club means to them. And they created a lot of beautiful art, and we were able to extract certain themes about that. So those particular themes are showcased on the Vision, Growth, Family, Bright Future, Hope L4 shirt. We also have the L4 hugging logo, which is all about inclusivity and love, which is at the heart of L4. And then we also have a design of a child walking down a sidewalk where there's growth all in the past. And it's really this message that no matter where you're from, what you come from, what your environment is like, you can and you should try to make a difference and create growth where maybe it's not supposed to grow.
Wow, these are beautiful.
Thank you.
So creative, and I love that you're involving the charities. I know Laura would love that.
Yeah.
Because you're so right. It wasn't just breast cancer.
No.
Her life she was engaged in so many organizations, and that's where I met her.
Yeah.
And the inspiration that you continue to give online.
Yeah.
I mean, the organization itself, what you're doing with the Akron Community Foundation,
Right.
and helping charities. So how do you want people to connect to you? Because let's say I'm a charity and I'm watching this show today, or I'm listening to a podcast, and I say, I want to work with Michael.
Sure.
What do I do?
So you can go to l4project.com.
Okay.
There is a tab where it's nominate. There's a form. You can fill it out. You'll send me to my email, which is actually on there, the 501c3 certification describing your charity, how you'd like to partner. And we select a few charities every single year to do this, to build out their collection. And those charities, what's great is they get these funds and resources in perpetuity.
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
It's not a limited time. It's not 6 months or a year. It's as long as it's up there. You can get a sustainable and consistent revenue source so that you can continue on your mission, just like we're trying to continue Laura's.
Wow, you're helping so many people, impacting so many.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share that we didn't talk about today? Because this has just become amazing. And again, I just admire you because it really was about a month after Laura passed. And I'm watching online this grow. And of course, I'm buying things and looking at different things because the products are so amazing.
Thank you.
But now to expand to charities, is there anything else that we should know or anything that you need help with?
Yeah, I would say we're always looking for volunteers.
Good.
Anybody that needs, wants to be a part of a warm mission that is growing, it's exciting. You can go online, you can contact us. If you're looking on how do I get involved? You have all this passion, but you don't have an outlet for it. Maybe it's at work and you're stuck in a cubicle all day.
Yes.
Come talk to us. Like, we have a lot of passion behind what we're doing. We get to affect in a positive way a lot of different organizations and people. And we are trying to build a community and continue to live life like Laura.
You're amazing.
So are you.
I'm looking at you, just going, and I know for those groups that need a speaker, there's always groups that they want some inspiration. And Michael, you do it so well.
Thank
You
you.
spoke at the Cancer Society this year.
Yes.
About a year after Laura had spoke
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, public speaking isn't always necessarily my favorite, but I find myself having to do it often now, and if that's what I have to do, that's all good, and I enjoy when people get something from it. So I'm happy to do that if people need it, and Laura was such a charismatic, charming, educated, authentic human being.
And great speaker.
Yes. That it's always hard to live up to that, but I know that she'd be proud, and I know that she would appreciate the courage from me to go out of my comfort zone to try to continue telling this story.
And people need to hear it. They need to hear it for so many reasons that you mentioned. Earlier before the show, we were talking about going raw and getting real.
Yeah.
And how Laura, you guys decided you were going to put it out there. And every day I'm watching on social media what's going on with my friend. Doctor's appointments, everything. It's all in there. That is such an amazing, brave challenge for all of us. It's not easy to do, to share that story.
Right.
But for so many of us, myself included, watching Laura and being inspired, and she would try everything. She would never give up.
Yeah.
So this mission and what you've created is incredible.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you. And I want to tell all of our listeners, whether this is podcast or live, before we show our book club, because we have a book club for Discovering Your Dawn, which is, again, a book about tragedy, a pain turned into campaign, a campaign to help others, and then your strategic personal brand. Either one of those books, if you're currently reading and going through them, I'm available to help. But today I brought in Michael so you could see the inspiration. I know there's storms in our lives. December, we did a big show on how to communicate through grief and how to make it through the holidays. So many of you helped with that. You gave us ideas. You were on our Facebook page. It was wonderful. Now I'm going to ask you and challenge you. I want you to take it to the next level. I want you to reach out to Michael, whether it's a nonprofit that you're on the board for or you're volunteering. I want you to go look at L4's site. I know I go on there. I love it. There's like 7 things I want to buy right now. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
And you can feel good about your shopping, which I love. So we have put the phone number up for you for L4 Project, but again, you can go through Katherine Miracle on Facebook. I'm friends with Michael. We can get you there. If you need help getting there, get to L4, not only to volunteer, to purchase, to get involved, to get your nonprofit, but just to be inspired. Because, Michael, I have to share with you, watching Laura decline on social media and knowing it was happening was killing us. Yeah. And I wondered how soon we'd hear from you, and we heard from you right away. And then we just gravitated to you. We just needed to know you were okay, and James was okay, and how were you doing? And I want to thank you because Laura was my warrior through this, going through and saying, okay, where everybody is in their own diagnosis and their own health, and how do they get through? And we watched her every day, and we just didn't want, we didn't want to lose her.
Right.
And Michael, we have her every day Every day I carry that tumbler.
Yeah.
Live like Laura.
Yeah.
And when I live life like Laura, you give me a piece of her. And when I see on social media James smile, he looks just like Laura.
Absolutely.
It's like I feel like I've got Laura's smile.
Absolutely.
So thank you for staying with us and continuing the journey and continuing the fight. And for everybody who's watching, please help my friend Michael, and let's further this foundation to reach more people. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you.